work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive and why yet number. It's your primitive and why yet number. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your primitive and why yet number. It's your primitive and why yet number. I like to get to know ya so I can show ya. Put a hurtin' on ya like I told ya. Give me all your numbers so I can phone ya. Your girl acting stank, then call me over. Not on the bed, lay me on your soul.
Hello.
That was getting way too sexual. The way Chad was doing the ball and it was like, let me work it. I'm like, what is going on here? What kind of intro did you put together, sir?
Listen, I had 20 minutes
Okay.
on my break at work, and I thought this would be funny.
I'm turning red.
Yeah.
Turning red.
Turning red.
Why?
It's embarrassing.
Oh, my God. That was great.
This is football, not sex stuff. Come on.
Listen, we had Joe Burrow dancing to Missy Elliott, and there is nothing better.
I don't know who Missy Elliott is, but it must have been that song.
Yeah.
That song turned 20 years old this year.
Really?
Yes.
We need
so anyway.
Aging myself out.
Next time. Little Frank next time.
No, next time it's going to be Sailing by Christopher Cross. I've already got it picked out. Much different vibe.
Yeah.
Who they host? Also in the chat.
Y'all are listening live and watching live. To Rally Round the Natty. We got Hoss in the chat, just like Dale said. Dad, you owe him, was it a hot dog dunked in beer mailed across the county?
Yes. Absolutely. Owe him a hot dog. That's my fan base right there.
That is 100% of the Merc fan base.
I'm feeling it.
Feeling great. So we got a couple things that we're going to talk about tonight. And we are going to go with maybe a little bit more scripted format. And this is awesome. I know. But we're going to try and keep the show shorter. We might be going 2 days a week now. So a little bit more concentrated content. And now you get to see me and my father and possibly a Dale twice a week. And Derek, if he would ever get his shit together and come on the show. He's too busy with his goats. Yeah. First topic of conversation. We're going to tease the schedule a little bit. Comes out in about, 51 hours? Whatever that is.
Excited. I'm very excited.
That's your thing.
It is my thing. I love
like you hate the draft. You love the schedule.
Yes.
I've never. You're the polar opposite of 99% of Bengal fans.
I will.
You get really excited to plan a vacation, buy a plane ticket, and then you don't do anything for like the next 3 months. Because that was it. I'm good. It's like a 12-second Christmas. I might just start buying you calendars for Christmas. You get excited to see what Sundays are next year.
Absolutely.
So we'll tease this a little bit. If you could pick your week one opponent and when it's played, where it's played, what time, what would it be? Who would it be?
How do you want to start?
You can start.
We'll do this. Okay, we'll do the same order each time. So we'll. My choice, I guess, just because I've already heard that it's a possibility with shots of hot sauce by Santori here. If you're not watching, consuming this in podcast form, but I would say the Chiefs because I've just heard it as a possibility. I've also seen the Ravens, but I don't know. There's just something about I'd rather not start against a division opponent. I'd rather something a little different. So like. The Chiefs, the Bills, give me one of those two. But probably the Chiefs, and why not? Let's just do Sunday night game, Chiefs right off the rip.
So you don't want a low grade opponent. You want something a little bit more marquee.
I mean, I think we're going to have a lot of marquee games. So
you don't want Atlanta or Miami week one.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
So you're saying Atlanta week 1, 1:00 game? Like I'd be good for that as like an old man who has a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 type job.
Merc.
I would rather have that, but
I want a marquee game, and I want one of the teams that we haven't beat yet. I want Buffalo or I want the Buccaneers.
So are we going to be at home or not? Because we
typically play the Buccaneers at home.
I was going to say one or the other there.
Right.
We always seem to be like cast away into the abyss on week one. Like we get sent somewhere. If I had my druthers, I would want Cleveland at home on Monday Night Football and just blow them up. I want Cleveland back so bad.
Can we at least get the early game?
No. No.
We would have to, because there'll be a West Coast team that gets the later one. Because they always do those double headers on the first week, which they already announced the double header for the second week.
I want everybody watching, and I want Joe Burrow to throw for like 800 yards against Cleveland this year.
I don't know what the deal is with the double headers. I know they do it every year for 1 week, but it looks like they're going to do it for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's more now because I didn't know that either till I seen them release that there was a double header for week 2.
Well, and quite frankly, it's dumb. I mean, the second game starts at like halfway through the third quarter of the other game.
Yeah,
if you've got a hell of a game going on for that first time slot, but your team plays second, okay, well, I guess I'm going to miss this game and go watch the other one. You're going to be jumping back. It's going to turn into like a Heidi Bowl thing.
Why not put a game on a Friday at that point? Like you're the NFL, high school football, you're going to offend them?
Listen, don't mess with my high school football.
I'm just saying, though, if you're the NFL and you rule it all and you want to get max exposure to a Friday game.
Hey, I'm all about 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Where's my Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, Wednesday.
No Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday 2:45.
6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
No, it'd be terrible.
Yes,
I'd be sitting at work going
like 180 straight days of football.
No.
Let's do it.
No, absolutely not. Okay. What's the game that you're least looking forward to? If there's one that you can circle on the schedule, like, I don't. It could be just like you don't want to play them. It's just that's like the boring game. Like, screw that. I don't want it.
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
I have the schedule in front of me.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Well, I don't.
Because I'm prepared.
I'm unprepared.
Well, you got stuck in traffic for like 45 minutes.
I was going to say there's not a lot of them in general. Because even when you say like the Dolphins, well, I still want, to face Tua and beat the living crap out of that guy.
Well,
Tyreek Hill. Like,
I grew up a little bit of a Dolphins fan because I liked Ricky Williams growing up. So to me, even that game's like, I have some interest in that.
I mean, Panthers at home, no. And the only road thing is like the Jets, but they beat us last year.
Yeah,
I have a personal vendetta with this steroid taking dude that is a Jets fan from last week. So I definitely want to play them. Like, I'm hyped for that game.
The guy that's all like hating on the Bengals because of the one play.
Jeffrey Gunter. Yeah, he's hating on Jeffrey Gunter, a 7th round pick. And I'm like, dude, and he's like, he's trying sliding in my DMs. I'm like, oh, that's weird, but sure, I'll accept it. Like,
so, if you're not familiar, apparently there was a play like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina versus BYU when they just put a game together within the week.
Right, and I guess Gunter took a little bit of a shot at Wilson, and all these Jets fans are just now hating Bengals because we drafted Gunter. It's like, okay, like we don't give a shit.
They got to have something to rally around.
Yeah, your life's that bad that you're pulling up 7th round highlights from 3 years ago to find something to bitch about. Come on, that's that typical New York mentality.
Yeah, but I just pretty much told a guy like, whatever, hippity hoopla, get his ass another steroid, because like his picture's like a faraway picture of him in the gym. Like he's probably on roids. He's angry all the time. It's not my fault. I feel sorry for your wife that you probably don't produce sperm out of your ball sack. Not my problem.
We're off to a great start.
Here, I'll give you mine. Mine would definitely be Carolina. I have no interest in the Carolina Panthers. It would have been probably Atlanta, but now that they drafted Ritter, I don't know if Ritter's going to start or not, but it would be interesting to just see Ritter back home playing us.
Mine's Dallas. I hate Dallas.
Well,
they're just the most boring. They're like,
that might be on Thanksgiving. You know that, right? There's
I don't
reports
really
out there.
care.
That's the rumor. Yeah.
I can't stand watching Dallas. They're on TV all the time. They're like watching a rerun. It's the same damn game every time.
I take pleasure in beating Dallas. I want to watch that game. I want to beat them.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like playing the Yankees where you're like, yeah, we beat the Yankees or whatever, but
they don't compare to the Yankees though.
No, the Yankees actually win.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Dallas. I hear about Dallas all the time. Got a personal vendetta against the state of Texas. Been to Dallas, hated it. It was gross. I don't like any part of it. I just don't really care for Dallas.
I've been to 2 games in that stadium. I watched the Bengals get completely bent over. Unfortunately, I watched the Bearcats against Alabama. So I'm 0 for 2 in that stadium.
You should stop going to Dallas.
I'm stopping.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm
The
out.
only other game we didn't mention Carolina, right?
I mentioned Carolina.
Okay. I was gonna say I guess that would be my one. If I have to end it with one, it's that one.
But even Carolina, if McCaffrey's healthy, he's enough reason for me to watch.
Okay, and that's
He's
2
fine.
games out of the season.
All right, well, we'll transition on here. Let's stick with Bengals. 53-man roster. Is there anybody that you want to see gone? We'll start with a little bit more vindictive. Who do you want to lose their job, Dale?
Nobody that I'm aware of.
Who do we want to make sure never goes on Bengals and Brews as a guest?
I would say fringe roster spots would be the wide receiver tight ends, just because I still think that's what we could maybe accumulate here in free agency to add some depth.
Okay.
So I'm answering it kind of ass backwards in a way there, where it's like if we add another receiver or we add another tight end, then somebody's job's on the line, like a Wilcox, the tight end.
Or Thad Moss.
Well, I don't even have him on the roster, so
I don't. I mean, he's a practice squad guy.
yeah.
Here, is there anybody on the offensive line that's still around that you want gone? Come on.
No,
There's a name in your head. I can see the wheels spinning.
no, there's really not. It's just it depends on whatever with those charges. If we're talking,
Well,
Right.
I mean, yeah, if those charges turn out to be anything, then yeah.
then I want him off the team because that's not the team that we built. It's not the character we built. But I don't know enough about it, and I can't.
Let's go performance based, not character based, because obviously anybody with a character issue should be launched. But
What
performance-based?
You're saying Adeniji? But it's only.
I'm trying to get you to say his name. I'm trying real hard to get you to say you don't want him around.
I'm not, man. I've learned my lesson.
Learned your lesson with what?
I'll get yelled at when I throw out shots.
Oh, I don't care.
If we're talking tight end, I mean, it's fucking Drew Sample shouldn't even be on the fucking team if we're being fucking honest. But we didn't do anything to address it to get him off the team. I mean, sure, I'm sure he's a fun guy. He's a nice guy, but what's he done since he's been here?
He's a blocking tight end that can't block.
And drops passes anytime they throw him little give me passes because no one expects it. It's like, oh my God, Drew Sample's wide open. Oh my God, he can take that one for 10 yards. And he's like,
I'm not sure he expects it at some time.
I don't think so.
Okay. Give me 4 running backs you want to keep.
You want me to go first again?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go in.
Okay.
Obviously, we're keeping Mixon. I like Evans. I still like Travion. I'm not really sold on Pirine. Pirine, he's okay. I just don't know if there's much there with him. Occasionally he'll get a hole and he'll break for 30 or 40. Did have a big play against was that Kansas City?
Yeah, he caught the screen.
Yeah, but I don't
He's
know.
good for one of those a year. He did the same thing against Houston 2 years ago.
He irritated the hell out of me in the Super Bowl, getting pulled down from behind on that 3rd and 1 run right before the sack at the end.
Well, and he's like a 240-pound back.
You would think
he's a big boy.
You would have thought he could have got a yard, and it's kind of like he hit the hole, and Donald got his arms around him, and that was it. It's like, come on.
The only thing I'll say is it's Aaron Donald, and he's a freak of nature.
I know it.
He's a good special teams player. He's a good 4th running back special teams player.
But the issue is
when the Bengals play him as running back 2 in the running game, that's the problem. He's not running back 2.
If he was running back 4 and he was a special teamer, fine.
Yes.
But then I need Evans, and then I think I would be okay keeping the 4 we have if they just rotated roles a little bit. And if it's worst case scenario, Evans is out, Mixon's out, and I've got to have Pirine and Williams for a game, okay. Like, if that's my doomsday scenario, sure. But if it's, Mixon just popped one for 20 and needs a breather, and the next guy ends P. Ryan, no. That's a problem.
And they did it too much last year. They put P. Ryan in as the guy too much, all the way up till the Super Bowl. And people get so mad when you criticize anything. But I said that all season, I'm like, why is P. Ryan in? Like, why are they not giving Evans a little more touches? Like, every time Evans was in on offense, he flashed, whether it be running the ball or as a pass catcher. It's
Right,
like he provides a different element than what P. Ryan can.
Well, I need one of two factors for a backup back. You either better be able to be an absolute battering ram, even if it's just for 3 yards, 2 yards, and a cloud of dust. I need you to make it hurt. Or I need some shake and bake.
One yard in the Super Bowl.
Or I need some shake and bake.
Does anybody know why P. Ryan was in at the end of the Super Bowl? Why? I mean, Mixon wasn't hurt. He was on the sideline. Can't you just shuttle in Mixon and shuttle out?
I don't know if that was an oversight, if that's just the fact that that's their 2-minute offense, and they said whatever.
I think it got the best of Zach at that moment.
I mean, I'm not going to criticize because it probably would have got the best of me too, but I would have. I mean, you figure if the Super Bowl's on the line, you should have your best running back out there.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those, if you could go back in time and change one, it's like, right. I go back to that moment and smack Zach in the face and be like, Zach, you sure you want P. Ryan in right here? And still let him make the decision. But
let me jump in, and this will be somewhat controversial as far as who I don't want to have on this roster, and it's Jesse Bates. I like him as a player. I can't stand what he's doing right now. This team is so heavily built on culture, and for him to be awarded $15 or $16 million in the comp and attitude that he's not going to participate with the rest of the players in the voluntaries, which was kind of the bedrock, the foundation of how this team started last year, that pisses me off. And I if he's going to play that way, plus last year he was a head case. He was so worried about his contract, he didn't show up until the postseason. He had a terrible year. And I just don't think it's healthy having that guy around. He's got a lot of value. Trade him. Get value for him, and let's get the attitude out of here. The attitudes don't work. It didn't work with I don't know. It didn't work with AJ Green. It didn't work with Carlos Dunlop. I think we got the same kind of thing brewing here. I would move on.
He's a lot younger and a lot more in his prime, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, I have had no thoughts of getting rid of him necessarily, but it's crossed my mind after the draft with what we've brought in with the Dax Hill and a Cam Taylor-Britt and a Tyson Anderson and guys who can maybe fill that role. And then you got to start looking what value could we get back in return for him. And I'm not saying that I would or wouldn't trade him, but my phones would be open because I remember when we drafted Jesse Bates, George Iloka was a damn good safety, and they just straight up ended up cutting him that offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's unfortunate, and I know that we're probably in the minority on this, but I am with you. I don't like when guys do this. I know it's part of the game. I know it's playing chess with your agent. I know it's a business. I hate that shit so much. You have a culture. You have a team. You're supposed to move forward. You always hear, oh, it's a brotherhood. Well, you're screwing over your brotherhood for, you basically, he's getting tagged this year. He's got an option to get tagged next year. Are you saying that 2 years, $30 million guaranteed isn't good enough for you? Because that would make you the highest paid safety over the next 2 years, regardless. So, or you can look at a contract, which would be the same way. But let's look at how this year plays out. It's one of two. He either balls out or plays like shit. That's what he does. Look at his track record. He either plays really well or he plays like shit. There's no in between with Jesse Bates. If he plays really, really well, I don't know if the Bengals can afford him moving forward because the year to sign him was this year. Because next year, you've got T and you've got to start thinking about Joe and you've got Jonah Williams making his 5th-year option. At some point, you can't pay everybody. Or he plays like shit and you move on anyway.
But I'll kind of go with Hoss there because I've had the same thought, though. If he does ball out and dominate and get you a Super Bowl, and maybe you franchise him and try to trade him for something next year.
You can, but if you tag and trade him, the team that's willing to buy that player has to be willing to pay a ton of money for him because it's really not appealing to a team to trade for a guy that's playing on the tag.
I know, but there's still franchises like the Jets out there, and they do some real dumb shit.
There's
the Texans.
There's
Texans,
dumb people.
How
out
about
there.
that first round pick? You called it on our mock weeks in advance.
I don't even know they did. Did I call it?
You did.
What'd I do?
You said they were going to take Trayvon Walker, number 1, and I said I'm hearing the same smoke, but then I went on a rant about how stupid it was,
and then they did it.
Yeah,
you can't fix stupid.
No.
So I mean, I understand the frustration with Jesse Bates. I think this is probably his last year as a Bengal, regardless. If he plays well, you tag him and get something for him. If he doesn't, you move on. And they're obviously prepared to move on, because if he's gone, Von Bell ain't making anywhere that kind of money. You can re-sign Von Bell and you've got Dax Hill. Okay, let's go. If Dax Hill is everything he's supposed to be, all that in a bag of chips, then he's a first-round pick.
The
he
big
should be
thing
Jesse
with
Bates.
Sorry, Santori. The big thing with him is when it comes down to it, when it's time for actual training camp to start, if he wants to miss any days, then you got to start looking into a trade. If he's not out there ready to go at that point and be all in for this season, then it's
I can
I know
see
you
him
don't want it
missing.
to get to that, but I'm saying
it's going
that's
to get
the
to
deadline.
It's going to happen. Those guys in these contract disputes typically miss the first day or two just to kind of prove a point. I don't know what your point is. You're lazy and don't want to come to work, or you're pissed off. I can't understand. And I'm going to say this and piss off a lot of players. This will probably be the only chance I ever get to have one on the show. I can't understand a bunch of, and I can call them children because they're younger than me at this point, a bunch of millionaire children bitching and moaning about playing a sport and not getting paid the highest of their position when, quite frankly, Jesse Bates doesn't earn it. He played okay his rookie year. He played like shit his second year. He played pretty damn well his third year. He probably was the best safety in football. And then last year, it was in his head and couldn't play well until it mattered. Why, if I'm just play GM for a minute, why the hell would I invest in somebody that has a track record of doing this? I wouldn't. Especially now that he's threatening to miss time. Dude, go play with the Jets.
Yeah.
Go play with someone that's going to pay you and you can lose.
And you can't give contracts off of being a team leader, but he is a team leader.
Not right now, he ain't.
That's what I was saying. If he's not there and he's not with the team, I don't know, man. I just wish they could. And I knew this was coming. I said it multiple times, around when the franchise tag happened. I was like, I didn't want to see it get to the franchise tag because the time for them to work out a deal was before that hit. Because then everyone's, Jesse's team salty, and then they're like, well, we can replace you. And then this is what it becomes. And I don't have I'm a Bengals fan. I want the best for the Bengals. Jesse Bates is a hell of a player, in my opinion. But, they drafted some great players, too, that can step in and fill in. So.
If you look at the great dynasties, they don't have contract disputes. Guys just show up, go to work, and win. In the teams that do win a lot and have contract disputes, those guys don't stick around. Case in point, look at what the Patriots have done the last 10 years. Every time they've had a big defensive player go, Bill, I need more money. Okay, go to Cleveland, go somewhere and suck for a year or two and then come back.
So I was going to say, see you in 2 years with the Patriots. It seems like it always works out that way.
Because at the end of the day, football teams are a system. Anybody who's ever coached or played knows it's a system. To transition to a new system that groomed you, new terminology, new playbook, new way of doing things, most of the time, plug and play does not work. The Bengals have been incredibly fortunate with their free agents and how well that they've been able to plug and play. That doesn't normally work. So if Jesse Bates wants to go somewhere for 2 years and dick around and probably suck, that's fine.
Johnson.
But I'm not. Michael Johnson, he came back too. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Guys do this all the time. They don't learn.
I was going to say, so do you guys think any chance that they get an extension before the season starts? I know it's not trending that way, but
no, I think there's.
If I said percentage chance, you're both 0.
He's not helping his case right now.
Okay,
not at all.
No, I mean he's not here. I mean, I always do this, and I get a lot of heat for it, but I like to just because as much as I say it and get heat for it, the players say it, so I'm going to use the analogy. This is their job, okay? Well, Dad, we work for the same company. If I decided to go to my boss and say, I'm pretty good, I think I should be the highest paid at my position in my department, I'm just not going to show up for the next 3 days. What do you think is going to happen?
I think you'll be working somewhere else.
Right. What do you think would happen if you did that?
Yeah, same thing.
Dale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Hold on. I'm pretty damn invaluable. Let me. No,
but as much as these guys want to say this is my job and this is not a regular job, first off. So stop saying that it is. I hate when players say that. If it's not a regular job, that's fine. Admit that it's not a regular job and that you can take time off and want a new contract or whatever. But normal people don't do that. And if you want to tell me that this is a normal job, which it's not, you better start fucking acting like it's a normal job. And when it's mandatory and you don't show up, your ass would be cut. Because at the end of the day, go ahead, Paul Brown.
As Paul Brown used to say, they're all just interchangeable parts.
Mm-hmm. The great founder of this franchise, and a lot of people put him on the Mount Rushmore,
I know, but I still don't think
parts.
That's a way to hype your team up.
Well, I'm not trying to hype my team up. I'm trying to single out an individual that's being an asshole.
Yeah, I can't cave to people like that. It's addition by subtraction. You get rid of players like that.
My thing is, the Bengals were here before Jesse Bates. They're here now. They will be here after Jesse Bates. No single player is bigger than the team, with the exception of maybe Tom Brady, because he left and just did it somewhere else the next year. Dude, you're at a position that the NFL is starting to not value, throwing a fucking fit with your agent about how you need to be valued on a team that already has drafted your replacement who doesn't need you moving forward.
Look at the draft. Everybody thought Kyle Hamilton was a top 3 player. What did he get drafted, Santori?
14th to Baltimore.
Yes.
Because people don't value safeties in the NFL anymore.
The next highest safety went at pick 31 to our pick,
So why that's the thing that's going to start happening is the safety market's going to start getting reset because the guys are going to have to sign for less and less and less. Why would I pay you and reset the market when the position is starting to do this? He is at the absolute worst time in the history of the NFL to try and be the next highest paid safety.
Well, who was Seahawks or Jets to the Seahawks? Adams, right?
Yeah, but that's
Adams
one of those outlier contracts.
I know, that's what I'm saying, and that's what we said all through the process. If he's waiting on that $18.5 million a year, that's not coming. He's and Jamal Adams don't play like a safety, really.
The top safeties, and I always talk about this on Twitter. It's average annual value divided by that current year's salary cap. Gets you a percentage. Okay. Safeties make about 8% on that number. 8% of 208.2 this year is about 17.5. Even the best paid safety at the top of the market going into this inflated salary cap, which is the highest it's ever been, would not get a Jamal Adams contract. So if Jesse Bates is wanting anything more than top 5 safety money, which quite frankly he doesn't deserve, he is out of his gourd.
But what do you think it does for the team chemistry, too, when you continue to see guys like Mike Hilton and several others that are pay Jesse Bates, and they continue to say he deserves his money? And
it's bad for chemistry. It's bad for the locker room. At this point, and we said this on our show, I think last week, it's a distraction. And you could say, oh, it's not a distraction. Well, it fucking is, because every time Mike Hilton opens his mouth, it's about Jesse Bates. That's the only thing that defensive backfield talks about now is getting Jesse Bates signed. It's effectively the talk of the locker room. It is now a distraction.
Yeah.
He is causing problems. We are now on this show talking about it. All 2 people watching right now are listening to me bitch about Jesse Bates.
You said your show is about bitching about a lot of stuff.
It is, but point being, he's a distraction. It's not good for the locker room. And he's not that good. When he's on it, he's fantastic. But guess what? Consistency is one of the things that I value most. And he is probably the most inconsistent safety in the AFC North. He's not even a top 3 safety in this division right now. Minka's better because he's always consistent. And now you have Marcus Williams, who's one of the best safeties in the NFL over in Baltimore. We don't know what Kyle Hamilton's going to do. Jesse Bates is somewhere in that mix. But if you're not even the top safety in your division, why am I going to make you one of the highest paid in the league? If I'm going to make you highest paid in the league, you damn well better be the best in your division.
Anything else exciting you want to talk about?
The Reds.
Oh, God.
They won 3 of 4. Next.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, I put this out there, and I think this will calm Reds fans down just a little bit, because there's been a couple that are like, oh, my God, like, see, this is, they're clicking. They finally got their – shut the hell up, first off. They're not clicking. They beat a shitty-ass Pirates team. Okay? There is one team worse than the Reds over the last 20 years. It's the Pirates. Congratulations, you beat them. You did your job. Now, if the Reds continue to win 2 out of 3 for the remainder of the I did it this way. In order for the Reds to get 500 on the pace that they are on over the last 3 days, winning 2 of 3, it would take them until the 80-game mark at 40-40, and they would be 500. If the first place team, the Milwaukee Brewers, continued on their pace of, I think it's 633 or 613, 611, whatever it was, right? The number came out to they would be 51-29. The Reds would be 11 games back if they played out of their mind, right? They are currently 12.5 back. If the Reds play out of their mind for the next 2 months, they pick up a game and a half. That's how screwed they are. Be done.
Hey,
enjoy the wins as they come. But
no, you're not allowed on the bandwagon when we're going to the freaking World Series, buddy. I'm ready to go. Everybody hype train, Reds to the World Series. No.
And that's one thing that I can't stand.
So
people
bad,
are like,
dude.
But people will legitimately take that stance with me. Oh, when they're good, I don't want to hear it. I'm allowed to criticize them when they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand the sports fan bases sometimes. Like,
bad.
they're bad. You can't say anything bad about them.
Good. It hardly ever happens. So
right,
we'll be right there behind you guys. Hey,
I like to think I'm pretty fair. Like when Jamar Chase at the very beginning of the year, he had like 5 drops in 2 games. I put a sarcastic tweet out there that he was John Ross 2.0, and one of the Meek brothers got all pissed off. He's like, you need to shut the hell up, and he blocked me. And I was like, really? Like, it was a sarcastic tweet, dude. You lost your mind. And then he's like, I don't want to hear you say anything when he's good. I'm like, you won't. That's the point. Because when they're good, I have nothing to complain about. And I think my Twitter reflects that. Have you seen me bitch and complain about the Bengals as a team over the last 12 months? No. They've been great. They just went to the Super Bowl. I'm happy. It's wonderful. But then people are like, oh, well, you're just going to bitch when they're bad again. Well, yeah. That's how it goes. My emotions are I'm mad when they're bad. I'm glad when they're good. I don't know why that's hard to understand.
I almost feel like it's being a fan and living in that moment.
Right. I just don't understand the people that
I know.
Are
you got to be all on
once.
fake.
They're fake happy when things are going terrible. And I'm like,
yeah. And they're mad at you for not being as fake happy as they are.
Right. I'm like, it's whatever, man. Like, you can't be mad when they're bad for some reason. And when I got a player, and I would say this again, I got a player like Jesse Bates being a fucking child. I can't be mad about it.
I just don't. I mean, I like him as a player. That's the thing.
Here's the deal.
I do get it. Like I do. No,
Here's the deal. I want to say this because I think this will help alleviate some of the hate that I'll probably get from this.
You're gonna get hate. That's what I was trying.
I don't really care. I coach defensive backs.
Get your name out there too.
Yeah. I coached defensive backs for a long time. I've got quite a few playing in college football. I've got one that's probably going to go to the NFL here pretty soon. It's where I cut my teeth in high school ball. I love them to death. It's the position I know. It's the position I love. I think safety is probably the most important position on the field after quarterback. Look at every great NFL defense. They've probably got a Hall of Fame safety. I think there's a direct correlation. Love safeties. I was on Bengalorian's podcast a year and a half ago and said Jesse Bates was my favorite player. That's probably why it stings so much. It's because I love safeties and I love good safeties. But then he fell off the map and now he wants to bitch. And it's like, dude, I'm in that realm in my personal life with defensive backs. I watch so much film. I don't know how many times I tried to teach kids how to fucking backpedal the right way and watch them fall on their ass. So it's not that I just have this hate for Jesse Bates. Love Jesse Bates, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. If you suck, you suck. If you're good, you're good. And if you're being an asshole, you're going to be an asshole. I try to be fair, but I'm emphatic about it and people get mad.
My 2 cents on this, I have nothing against Jesse Bates. I have everything against players that put themselves ahead of the team.
It's not a Jesse Bates
Joe
problem.
Burrow was doing this, I'd be saying the same thing about Joe Burrow.
It's not a Jesse Bates problem. This is a situational problem.
If Joe Burrow was doing it, it would be in the national media so much more, and it'd be even worse. So that's what I mean. When it happens with a bigger time position, you see it more, and then I think more people would feel what you guys are expressing right now.
I feel it with any player at any position. I just think it's selfish. And you don't win Super Bowls by being selfish. I know it's a business. I know everybody needs to get their bag at some point. But come on, you're potentially ruining what would be a unbelievably good defensive backfield over a little bit of selfishness. And that's what pisses me off.
It would be nice to hear him be like, okay, I'm getting paid handsomely on this franchise tag. And if we can work out a long-term deal, great. Let's go win a fucking Super Bowl.
And I know
this close. I'm going to go out there and give it my all and let the money fall where it falls.
It's just if
you heard that, no one would be able to complain.
Absolutely, I'd be on board.
I'd be okay, but the thing is, no, they're making it all about money, and I know, it's a different kind of job, like we said, and the money is all relative. I make $32,000 a year. I would do what he does for free if I was good enough to do it. And they're bitching that 13's not enough. I need 15. Are you kidding me? The difference of $2 million would take me like 70 years to make.
It's ego. It's all ego. They got to be the highest paid.
I can't stand it.
See, I don't want to put it all on Jesse because like he got that, which I know it's part. You got to hire your agent, this, that, and the other. But that agent is known for that. So,
but here's the deal.
But he hired him. I know.
I was going to say.
I'm not defending him. I'm saying though, then that agent, and then it's just over. Once he hires that agent, it's like that agent ain't gonna let you say another damn word.
But at the same time, like you just said, he switched agencies right before his contract to get a money shark.
I know.
He knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew this was the route he was going to take. That just tells me, to me, it's more about the money than it is winning. And of course it was, because he didn't care enough to set that shit aside and let half of his season tank. Well, meanwhile, the Bengals are getting shredded out the ass in the defensive backfield for the first 8 weeks. And he's going, I'm thinking about my contract. Think about the damn playbook, man. If I know that's the case, dude, you're a head case. You can't focus.
Well, marking off Jesse Bates coming on either of our podcasts in the future.
I don't care.
I'm kidding, man.
If Jesse Bates came on, my one listener would go to about 7. Because I would put Jesse Bates on my podcast, wouldn't even get retweeted enough. It would come and go. It'd go on YouTube. I might have 12 views the next day. I don't care.
Anything else before I gotta get off here? I didn't know we were reaming on Jesse Bates for 20 minutes. You could put that on the sheet.
I should have brought it up.
It's his fault.
It's always my fault.
It's Dad's fault.
It's always the old guy.
That was in traffic. It took a minute. We're late. We do want to shout out the Ricky Vaughn jersey. The Wild Thing.
I'm bitter. I'm a bitter bitch. It is what it is.
Hey, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about it. This is all we do. We work and then we talk sports, and I love it, man. And I love you guys, and keep killing it. And like I've said all along, the Rally Around the Natty podcast, man, with the father and son thing, that is awesome. Like, I love the whole theme of it, and you guys keep crushing it. I'm gonna keep supporting you guys. You guys support me, and I support you. Hooday, love you guys. Have me back on sometime.
Absolutely.
If you have me back on yours, I'll be nicer, and I won't shame players on your podcast.
Yeah, I have to have a disclaimer.
This is the safe zone where you can say what you want. You go on Dale's show. Be nice.
No, I
Come
don't
here
even
if you
be
wanna be a
nice. You
jerk.
know I don't be. I yell at Derek 24/7. Like it's weird.
You want to know how dirty he did Derek the other day, Dad?
No, he wanted me to do that.
Are you sure?
I promise you. He's done it 3 times in a row, and I haven't cut him off. So he gets mad at me every time.
So Derek will like start talking,
Weird.
and Dale starts talking over him, just normally, right? And Derek gets this like a little sad puppy face, like he did it again, man. And then as soon as the show's getting ready to end last week, Derek goes, "Hey, I got something to say," and he clicks end
No,
show.
I said, Derek, say something stupid to send us out.
And the outro starts, and I'm like, "You really just cut him off?" And then I text you and say you did him so dirty, and you never replied to me.
Oh, I thought I told you because I told a couple other people asked me that, and I said no, that's what he likes. It. He brought up Drew Sample last week again.
He brings up Drew Sample.
I hadn't yelled at him the whole
every
episode,
day.
and he brings up Drew Sample. So I start yelling at him, and then when we got off the podcast and we're talking on the phone, and I said, "Dude, I wasn't going to yell at you. I feel like I'm being an asshole to you when I'm just doing it to be funny." And he said, "No, man." He said, "I brought up Drew Sample so you would yell at me, and I was feeling left out because you yell at me every other time." I'm like, "Okay, then you don't have to tell me again."
Okay, well, we normally have a tradition when we sign off, and I make my dad sing. What's he got to sing?
I thought you said Dale was going to sing.
Well, I was going to see if I could make him sing, but
My throat, man.
Your throat.
Yeah.
no, he actually does have a throat problem right now. That's why he's drinking Fireball to help it out.
Shh. Can't tell my supervisor that.
Was she watching?
She might be.
She's got Dale fired. Uh-oh.
Use a hoe. I said that use a hoe. Oh, no, we're not doing that one.
No.
Okay.
Dad, why don't you sing that Missy Elliott song that we came on to?
I wouldn't know one word to that.
No?
Why don't you sing it?
I don't know a word. I heard it on the radio today.
You chose it.
All right, you got any?
It is.
Frank Sinatra. New York, right? Like that's like.
Do we want to say New York? Do we want to go that way?
Yeah, so I can be like, "Fuck that Jets guy! Fuck that Jets guy!" the whole time.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Hey.
I
that Jets guy.
wanna be a part of it.
Hibbity hoopla,
New
steroids.
York, New York.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
as our normal sign off, go ahead, Dad. Lead it out.
Hooday!
Hey!
Hooday.
Wow, that's weak. All right, goodbye. Jeez, he can't. Can you believe he did that?
Sounded like Shiesty.
All right. Well, we spent 20 minutes bitching about Jesse Bates, or maybe I did, but I can't stand players that get in contract disputes over fractions of millions of dollars while their team's trying to win a Super Bowl.
You know how I feel.
But thank you for joining us today. I have to go finish one load of laundry before. Uh-oh.
Hold on.
What's going on?
We got people.
Who's
We
people?
got people coming in here.
Who's in?
We have Tyler.
Tyler.
We have Cassidy. We have Kyle with long hair.
Oh, we got to see Kyle with long hair.
Oh, I don't think you want to see that.
I need to see it.
Come here.
Kyle! Kyle, come here. I know you can hear me.
Here.
Get it out of your eyes.
What in tarnation?
He looks like Tarzan, doesn't he?
That is one sexy man. Look at that. What in the hell?
It's like to have sisters.
All right.
Lean in. Get closer.
Get closer.
Go right there.
Kyle.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
pointing at him. He's pointing at him.
Kyle. Can you say pop? You want pop? There you go.
Now rip it off. Rip it off.
Rip the hair off.
Rip it off.
Rip it off.
Grab it. Grab this. And pull.
Pull.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, it's not coming off.
You got to tear his whole weave out, Tyler.
What happened?
Dan, is it your turn?
No.
Oh,
No.
You have to. That'll be the thumbnail. Please put
This
it
is
on.
where we sign off. This is where we sign off right here.
All right, I got to drive to West Virginia, get me some hillbilly hot dogs and some deepy dough.
This is over.
My dogs are barking. Jay must
Dogs
be
are
here.
barking. All right, we're out of here.
Hooday!
Rudy, be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.